welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. Guys, we are retired New York City police detectives with 20 plus years of law enforcement. And if you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you will get all things DutyRon when I go live or upload another video. And tonight, we're going to be talking about the Summer Wells case. We haven't forgotten about Summer Wells. 5 months. In another 2 days, it'll be 5 months. She's been reported missing June 15th by her parents down on Ben Hill Road. It's a case that's near and dear to our hearts and everybody's hearts out there. So, guys, if you're not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll get everything DutyRon when we go live or upload another video. Special thank you to the Patreon supporters, the channel members, and all of the folks who positively interact in all of these live streams. You guys are an instrumental part to keeping this community great. We lost Ed, but I'm going to add him back in. Here he is. Ed, what happened?
I don't know. Mr. Murphy visited me again on the microphone. I lost your sound. I had to reboot. Bam, I'm back.
All right. Well,
good evening, everybody.
Yeah. So Ed's in. I sent him out a new microphone. He's got a Yeti X there on the table. It sounds good. We may have to maybe tweak that a little bit here and there, but just grin and bear it. We're upgrading some of our stuff. I want to say happy birthday to our favorite criminal defense attorney, Joe Murray. He turned 29 today. So happy birthday to Joe Murray. He's here in the chat. I'll highlight some of his stuff. Where is he? Where are you, Joe? There you are. Happy birthday, Joe. There he is. We went to Tavern 18 tonight, but and he's going to be going live right after we're done at 10 o'clock. So happy birthday, Joe Murray. Wishing you many more happy and healthy ones. So let's get everybody acquainted with Summer Wells. A 5-year-old went missing out of the parents' home, allegedly. Her mom, Candace, and Don, they said that she let her go inside, play with her toys downstairs in the playroom. She went outside, went to her grandma's camper, which is just maybe 20, 30 feet away. She came back, and then she was gone. So let's listen to this. This is going to be a little bit of the timeline. It'll give it a little bit of a setup for you guys, and we will come right back on, me and Ed. Let's see, where did it go? Ah, there it is. I know we got no sound. I'm going to cue it up.
Adding that they continue working alongside the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI to find out what happened to the missing Hawkins County child.
This morning, the fate of Summer Wells still unknown.
Now, WJHL has led coverage as we've taken you across the community in the search for the missing 5-year-old. Ansley Daniel has a look at the timeline of events since Summer disappeared on June 15th.
Summer Wells is missing. She's 5 years old. She's 4 foot tall, blonde hair. Last seen wearing a pink shirt and gray pants.
That late night announcement launched a massive ground search at first light the next day.
With this steep and dangerous terrain, we're also experiencing, as you see behind us, very dense canopy coverage, including very dense ground cover.
Daily media briefings continued for 10 straight days. They ended on June 24th.
While every case is different, this one is definitely outside of the norm.
2 days following the last of those press conferences, the TBI announced they were searching for a late model red Tacoma truck seen in the area around the time Summer went missing. Another 2 days after that, we heard from Summer's mother for the first time. Candace Bly's only daughter had been missing almost 2 weeks.
Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay.
The day we heard from the mother was the same day the reward fund was finalized. Authorities also closed the active search. In September, Summer was featured on In Pursuit with John Walsh, and the reward fund surpassed $40,000. On October 4th, Summer's father, Don, wanted to speak with News Channel 11. 111 days had passed since his daughter disappeared.
I just don't feel that that's right, that they're just going to give up on her in a couple more months.
That same day, the Churchill Rescue Squad's reward fund was extended into the following year. Almost a week later, on October 10th, the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office said they were still taking tips and looking for that red truck.
Hi, this is Don and Candace Wells, and this is our YouTube channel.
Almost 4 months after their daughter was reported missing, Dawn and Candace Wells started a family YouTube channel and a website, findsummerwells.com.
We hope and pray to God we can find our daughter. We can't thank you enough. There's nothing we can do to thank you all enough, but just to thank you and praise our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Social media stardom turned to a social embarrassment 2 weeks later. Dawn Wells was pulled over on a suspicion of DUI and arrested while live on YouTube. Wells was later charged with a probation violation and released on his own recognizance. In Rogersville, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Thank you, Ansley. And later on this afternoon, Don Wells and Candace Blind will be speaking about their missing daughter in front of a national TV audience on the Dr.
So we all know that they went on to Dr. Phil and made an appearance there. We're not going to get into that here tonight. Dr. Phil, you know, he's got a show. He's an entertainer, but he's also trying to get down to the bottom of it. And however he's trying to do it, he's you know, he's got a show to make. Ed and I, we watched that. We watched little pieces of it. And again, you know, they're not there to solve cases. The police department, local, state, and federal, you know, the TBI, the FBI, Hawkins County Sheriff, that's their job. It's not Dr. Phil's job, but he definitely does have a show to do, and he did do it. You know, again, I'm not going to go into it. This is going to be about how and what we feel is the best course of action to try to help find either Summer Wells' remains or Summer Wells. And we think that drone searches are something that could be considered going into the colder months. We're now heading into winter time, and the foliage and the cover will now come down into the ground. Hunting season's in. And what's your thoughts on that, Ed?
Absolutely. You know, I still, for the life of me, it looks like sometimes, you know, I think about, you know, the famous phrase, 15 minutes of fame.
Right.
Why aren't these people out there searching every day? And I would not be able to sleep at night. I would not be able to function knowing that my daughter was missing. And I would be out there every day from sun up to sundown. And even at night, with the you know, any capabilities I had to thermal imaging, I have my own drones, I have my own lighting equipment, and I would be out there searching every inch of my neighborhood and then expanding outward from there. I just don't get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke about screaming from the rooftops with a megaphone going out, handing out flyers. This family has been all over YouTube. Don has been on people's YouTubes every night on social media. He talked about it on Dr. Phil, and he thought that would help him. But, you know, we're going to hear from criminal defense attorney maybe later on, Joe Murray, on how hurtful that is for them. It doesn't really help the situation any. And I didn't see anything positive coming from it. Joining us tonight are two special guests. Gene from RP Search Drones. Gene has been on the show so many times, and Chris from First to Deploy. He just started his search and rescue company. Chris is a great. He's from Tennessee. He's boots on the ground. He's done some searches for Summer Wells. So let me introduce Gene Robinson, all the way from the great state of Texas. Gene, thank you for joining. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Ron. Hello, Ed. Doing well. Happy to be here.
Always great to have you on. You always have some great information for us. And joining us from his studio in Tennessee is Chris from First to Deploy. Chris, thank you so much for coming on to Crime Time with DutyRon. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on.
Thanks, Ron. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, it's funny, you know, for the audience here, we Chris, Gene, Dave Rader, all of us with, you know, our same interests in finding the missing and bringing them home. We speak on a regular basis. You know, Gene is busy with his teachings. He's doing a lot of stuff, but we do get to, chit chat a lot. And I talk to Chris quite a bit. Chris, what's your thoughts on Summer Wells searching with drones with the fall and winter coming into play? How important is that? with potential recovery for human remains, or if she is still alive.
Yeah, Ron, it's very important because over the summer months, when we went down there and we flew, there's not much that we could see. The canopy was very heavy. There was a lot of leaves still on the trees. So going into fall now, we've got just a few weeks left before the leaves are gone off the trees. I don't want to go into a whole lot of details, but I can tell you I'm definitely working with a few people to try to get back out there and fly some more and see what it is that we may be able to find.
Can you talk a little bit about what you did in the past? Not in details, but you did cover some area out and about. It's been out there in the news. With EquuSeach Midwest, Gene. Gene did come down there, but I know that I spoke with Dave Rader about it, and Twila, the search coordinator. How difficult was the terrain? I know you can't give away quite a bit here. I'm not asking you to give locations, but how tough was the terrain, and what kind of cooperation did you get from law enforcement?
Ron, the terrain is very difficult to navigate there. There was many times where I lost service with my drone. You have to be very careful when you're doing search and rescue in those types of environments. But as far as law enforcement, they were very cooperative. They want to find Summer. Contrary to the popular belief out there, a lot of people think that they've gave up. That's not true. They worked and cooperated with us, and they have the same interest as we do.
Yeah, I mean, some of the folks are saying, not just in the chat, but just in private chats and in a lot of the, Summerwell's chat rooms and Facebook groups, law enforcement, they just gave up. They don't want to find them. That's so far from the truth. In any case, it doesn't matter what the makeup is of the family. It doesn't matter. And Ed and I could speak right true to this. It doesn't matter who we're looking for or what we're looking for. As far as the family dynamic goes, we're not looking at it and saying, well, these are people who are drug addicts or drunks or whatever you want to call some folks out there. If you want to, sit and point fingers, we don't look and make any type of judgment on anybody. We just go out there and do our jobs. And Ed and I did that for over 20 years. If there was a missing person, we didn't say, hey, what kind of missing person is this? Before we start deploying aviation and all of our resources, you just deployed them. And when those level 1s and level 2 mobilizations and level 3 mobilizations came out, and that's in New York City Police Department, it was all a matter of how urgent the search was. And they had mobilizations 1, 2, and 3. So we would respond to those lights and sirens, and we'd go out and do our searches. Gene, I know you were down there too. You're a senior guy. You know everything about drone searching. Talk about when the foliage comes down and hunting season comes into play. How much better of a sight vision do you get, and what's the advantage to that?
Well, one of the good things about that area is that there are a lot of deciduous trees, which means they lose their leaves in the wintertime. And it certainly helps us get a better picture of what's going on the ground. However, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Obviously, the leaves will cover up a lot.
Right.
And then we're going to be dependent upon the wind to blow things around and, hopefully get some things uncovered. Hunting season for us is a very, very important time. You get more people that are out into the woods, and you hope that they're safely hunting and harvesting their game, but at the same time they're really boots on the ground for us, and we hope that someone just happens to get lucky enough to either find, as you said, some remains or some sort of trace evidence, any sort of trace evidence at all.
Right.
That might lead us to some closure. Now,
right.
Understood that this is she's a very small package.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a difficult locate, if you will. It's going to be difficult for someone unless they're not, if they don't have their eyes on the ground and they're tracking or they're looking for something, they could easily miss her. So it's, it certainly is good that the foliage is off. We could get more drone footage and figure out other strategies based on what we can see through the trees.
Hey,
But
Gene, someone asked in the chat, can drones search underwater?
well, there are drones that search underwater, yes, and more to the point that we use side scan sonar. So if there is a body of water, we even have a drone side scan sonar boat.
Wow.
That we can send out and
Can you explain what that does? Can you explain what that does to the audience? The sonar side scan.
Sure, it's essentially if you're a fisherman, you know what a hummingbird is. And a hummingbird, they are getting so sophisticated now that they act just like the sonar on a submarine. It sends out a high frequency ping and it paints a picture.
Right.
And that picture is getting clearer by the year. And we have used side scan sonar. Dennis Waters and Team Waters, who works with Texas EquuSeach extensively. This man is probably one of the foremost experts in that field. And he has worked with Hummingbird to help improve that and to improve the tool for search and rescue. And with that, we can put it out into any small stock tank, any small body of water, and do that side scan sonar and paint a pretty effective picture of what's on the bottom.
Let me ask you, I saw some imaging from local news. It was just recent. They showed, but it looked like it was older footage of divers in a body of water. Remember, you and I had this conversation. I'm going to show it on here. When the lake or body of water is really mucky and it has this real thick algae in there, this sonar can go down through it, but is it able to see down if there is actually something down there, vehicle?
Yes.
Anything? Okay, so that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's great technology, and I'm not sure if Ed Wallace, if you're familiar with it. I know Chris is getting himself acclimated with it. This is an invaluable tool that I'm sure law enforcement down in that area has utilized. Maybe not the locals, but the TBI has that technology, and if they don't have it, they'll grab somebody like Gene, a private citizen who has a search company. They'll grab somebody like Chris from First to Deploy. And have them come out there and lend a helping hand. I mean, you've dealt with so many different law enforcement agencies. When they need help, they call us, right? They call EquuSeach, they call the various agencies that are out there. So,
you know, Ron, since we retired, the NYPD has its own drone fleet. That's in two units are actually using them. You know, TARU, the Technical Assistance Response Unit, are piloting most of the drones, and they're using it for searches. They're using it for events like the Thanksgiving Day Parade, surveillance of the New Year's Eve ball drop, and things of that nature. In addition, we can have them deployed at crime scenes if we're looking for people that have run into our parks or wooded areas, or just threw a gun out the window during a chase, or whatever the case may be.
Missing person cases,
yes,
drowning victims in the East River,
yes. Autistic children, missing persons, yes, yes.
Right. Yeah, so very interesting. I want to show a video, Gene, and maybe you can give us a little bit before I play it, the locate video. I think I have the right one queued up. Let me just make sure it's queued up properly. This was the 1 minute 53. That's not it. I want the longer one. Where is it? Hopefully I can find it. Okay, that's not it
6-minute video.
All right, here we go. Yeah, it's 6 minutes, right? 6:50. All right.
Yeah, you don't
I have
need
it
to
queued
keep it
up.
that long.
So what are we about to watch here?
Okay.
It's 6 minutes.
Yeah, and you don't have to play all 6 minutes. I think we can go through the intro of it and tell. But in a past life, I was an alpha geek and did a lot of computer work and programming and stuff like that. And I knew that there should be some way to use a computer to analyze all the imagery that we collect. Well, I was very fortunate enough to meet a Canadian here a couple of years ago who actually brought to fruition an idea that I had years ago, but just couldn't execute because of so many other, various reasons. And what it does is it goes out and scans these images that we collect, and you can establish color. You can establish a shade or a hue, and go through these images very, very quickly. Locate actually will go through 2 images per second and pull out anything that's red, for example, or anything that's pink or blue, or whatever whoever you're looking for is wearing. And I teach people how to do image analysis, and a good image analyst, if they're going to go through the picture, it's going to take them about 2 minutes to go through that picture. So if you have 1,000 images, which is very easy for us to do, that math is easy. You're looking at 2,000 minutes, and that ain't going to work.
When we went out to Bakersfield, California, and there was thousands of images taken, did those images get ran through this software, this Locate?
As a matter of fact, we did, and that's one of the things that now that we got Chris into the fold, and we're going to be able to get resources on both ends of the country, and I'm in the middle, and we can get drones out to take these images, and it's very easy to get them up on a Dropbox or a OneDrive or something like that, where we can pull them down and get them analyzed very quickly.
All right, I'm going to play this for the folks. So this is it, Locate, LOC, number 8, it looks like. Software and development to aid SARS volunteer, search and rescue volunteers, emergency responders, law enforcement, and government agencies. We're going to go full screen with this, guys, but they're still going to be able to hear you if you want to make a comment as we go along. But this is very fascinating technology, and this will bring lots of folks home, and it may save lots of people's lives. So I'm proud to show this here. Here we go.
Hello, my name is Gene Robinson. I've been called a pioneer in the field of drone search and rescue. And today I'd like to introduce you to an amazing piece of software that is going to be a game changer in so many ways. The software is called Locate. That's LOC and the number 8. Locate image analysis software is going to change the way drone search and rescue, or for that matter, any operation that uses color as the key to data retrieval. By utilizing the power of computer processing, graphics hardware, and a custom designed algorithm, finding objects of a specified color can be accomplished in seconds. Locate takes away the human subjective interpretation of colors by utilizing actual samples and scanning a range of the spectrum. It will identify down to the pixel level whether that color fits the color of interest as defined by the user. The software will run on just about any PC or laptop and does not require any special hardware to be effective, nor does it require an internet connection. Some of the features of Locate are as follows. An image from a 20 megapixel camera can be analyzed and searched for a color in less than a second. For a 20 megapixel image, Locate scans each of the 20 million pixels, searching for the color or colors the searcher defines. During search and rescue missions using drones, it is not unusual to collect hundreds of high-resolution images that must be individually scanned by someone. Under the best of circumstances, a trained searcher called a squint can view digital images at the rate of 1 image every 2 minutes or so. The math is easy on that one. For every 100 images collected, it takes over 3 hours to process. An exhausting and time-consuming process when minutes can be the difference between a rescue mission's success and failure. Locate can identify targets as small as your camera can image. Because Locate systematically scans every individual pixel in each image, Locate can detect the presence of a user-defined color from an object that the human eye may be incapable of detecting. For example, Locate can detect and locate an item the size of a golf ball from 400 feet above the ground, based solely on the user's defined color of interest.
That's fascinating. You could locate something the size of a golf ball from 400 feet. That's insane. Should I go any further with this, Gene, or do you want?
This video was made probably 2-3 years ago. and it's gotten even better since then.
Wow.
Um,
So should we continue with this, or it gave most of the meat?
Well, I think I can probably explain it. I mean, there's some other things that we're doing now that are even more fascinating than that right there. I mean, that by itself was such a tremendous boon to us.
Right.
But again, you had to take a sample of the color, and you had to, try to set a range and get it close and then run it. Now, all you have to do, for example, if you want to find yellow, you can go to the color wheel and select blue and red, and it'll go out and it'll find everything yellow.
Wow.
You don't even have to, in the subjectivity that, and here's the thing, I'm colorblind. So, I can look at a digital image and say, okay, RGB values are this, and launch it, and I know I'm not going to miss anything.
Unbelievable. So this thing comes in handy because, if you were looking at it, we'd be screwed. Lots of the folks in the chat are wanting to get Ed's opinion on Summer Wells. This live stream is going to be, again, as the title says, the search for Summer Wells from a drone perspective. So that's why I'm not going into talking about Dr. Phil, because, talking about drama and Dr. Phil doesn't get us to any closer to the prize. So I feel that it's important that we keep it focused. We keep talking about what's important, not the white noise and the jibber jabber that's going on all around, because the jibber jabber is not helping. These two guys that are down here, Chris from First Deploy and Gene, and my next guest, who I'm going to have join us, have put their feet on the ground, have gone into East Tennessee, gone into that area, and have actively searched for Summer Wells. So that's why I applaud these gentlemen. And now I'm going to add in somebody who we all love and know. She's eating right now, so I'm going to wait till she's finished with that little cookie that she put in her mouth. But there she is. Twila. How are you, my dear?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Good. So
I was eating peanuts. Anybody want some peanuts?
Nope.
I picked them myself. I grew them.
Do you have a set of headphones? Because I'm hearing feedback.
I don't have no headphones with me.
Okay, so then I'll just have to keep muting you every time I talk when I start talking.
Want me to go out and come back in?
Let me see if there's something I could do in the audio. I got you muted right now. Let me just see if I can put on echo cancellation. Hold on a second, because I'm hearing myself. I can't edit the mic settings. I don't know why, but it is what it is.
I'm in the car too, so that could be a reason too.
Hey, Twila, if you could, while we have you here, I'll go full screen with you. Give us just a little bit about, maybe your last, whatever you could talk about from the last search with Summer Wells. I already talked to Chris. I know we can't go into details, but we saw Candace on Dr. Phil with the Lost Is Not Alone wristband. Can you talk just a little bit about what you guys did when you were down there the last time?
Yes, I actually got to go meet Candace and Dawn, and Dawn did apologize to Dave deeply for the things that he had said about our organization. That bracelet that was on Candace's wrist, I gave her that bracelet when we were there, because she was so, I can't even explain the emotions that she was having while we were there. She was very appreciative for everything that we was doing to try to find her daughter, and she seen us at our worst. I mean, we were filthy, we were wet, we were dirty. It's echoing again. But she said, I wish there was more people like y'all that was in my life, because y'all have actually came in and treated me like I was somebody. I can tell that y'all care about my daughter and y'all want my daughter found. She's seen us firsthand doing what we were doing. And when I gave her that bracelet, I said, anytime that you feel like you're alone, just know that we're right there with you as long as you wear that bracelet. And she's had it on ever since. The terrain out there is absolutely horrible. It is horrible. And I'm sure it took us probably 3 or 4 days to even recuperate from the terrain out there. It's bad, but we're not going to give up. We're going to keep going back until we can get some answers.
Right. Yeah, I'll tell you, Twila, and this is the reason why I'm so glad that you came on here, is because folks that see and hear people talking about the Summer Wells case, they don't understand that there's great folks like you and Gene and Chris and Dave and the countless others that don't get named, that put their lives on the line and go out there and search in tick infested, wildlife endangered, wooded areas, snakes and all different kinds of things that you guys put yourselves in harm's way to try to bring closure or bring somebody home. And that's what I love to highlight, because we as police officers, we put our lives on the line day in and day out. We're out there dodging bullets. But what you guys do, you're not even getting paid for it. You're just out there volunteering. You're a mother of, of kids, and you raising you have a household of people. You're taking time out away from your family, just like Gene and Chris and all of the folks here do. And we can't thank you enough for that.
And we do it because we care. And some of the families, they feel like that everybody has given up on them. And when we come in, they look at us, just like last weekend, for an example, we were called back out to assist, and the family was there. And there's a post on this young man's Facebook page, and he told us, he was like, y'all never gave up. Y'all never gave up on my brother. And we don't give up. And I'll tell you, when we were out there for summer the last time, and Gene and Chris was flying the drone, these guys, let me tell you, if I had just a small piece of their brain, I'm telling you, I would cherish it like it was gold, because watching them with what they do with that drone, it was absolutely amazing. They could put that drone up and literally see the searchers from a great distance. And there was a point that we had to wait quite a while to get access to an area for Gene and Chris to go up and fly. And I'm telling you, it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. And trying to hold back your tears and knowing that you're trying to find this little girl, it weighs on you heavy.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. So again, people don't get a bird's eye view of that, and that was just my throwing in my little pun, the bird's eye view. But this is giving folks who are following the story closely some of the efforts that go on behind the scenes. And Chris, you were instrumental in going out there and hooking up with the local law enforcement and the local people. You got imaging and you did things for us behind the scenes, and you continue to do that. But first, let me say thank you to Denise Spalding for sending in the generous super chat. Much appreciated. Much, I really do appreciate it. It's without people like yourself who are generous and donating, it really makes it difficult for everybody to do this great work. And the wristbands that I've been selling for EquuSeach Midwest, I raised over $2,000 for Dave Rader with the sale of these wristbands. $10 each. They're on DutyRon.com. Go over there and purchase your wristbands. It says "Lost is not alone." I've been wearing this since Dave sent me my first three. He sent me one for me, one for my wife, and one for just for good luck, I guess. But I appreciate that, Dave Rader, sending that out to me. So if you want to purchase and get behind EquuSeach Midwest, go over to DutyRon.com where you can pick these wristbands up. Twila, we really do appreciate you coming in. I got that bad echo, so that's why I got to keep muting you. But I do appreciate you coming. I just want to wrap up because I got Joe Murray. It's his birthday. He's going live at 10 o'clock. So I got a couple of things that I want to cover. So I'm going to say love and respect to you as always. I love you. I appreciate everything you do. Twila and I haven't been talking a lot lately, but we almost every day would talk to each other, and we're going to continue to keep back in touch with each other. She's going through a lot of different things that she's dealing with, and life in general is hard for all of us. So sending love and prayers and respect to you and yours, and I love you tremendously, Twila. You're an awesome human being.
I love you guys. I love y'all. Y'all are like angels to me. We've been so busy. I'm telling you, EquuSearch has been very busy for the last couple of weeks. This is the first weekend that we actually, and Dave was out on something today, and so was Chris. But this is the first weekend I was away from my kids for 2 weekends in a row, and we'll be away from them again next weekend. And it's very busy right now. And the world, all I can ever say to everybody is treat people the way you want to be treated, because we live in a very sad world these days.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. Any parting words for the folks? You're in Tennessee. Some of the people are asking, "Oh, where is she from?" She's from down south. I'm not sure if it's Alabama or Tennessee. I never know with Twila. She doesn't like to give her location up, but she's a Southern belle. Anything for the folks that are following the Summer Wells case? Any kind of last words before we let you go, Twila?
Just continue to pray for everybody that's out there taking their time to try and find this little girl. Right now, we're not looking for answers. We just want to find Summer. We don't want to give up on her. And like I said, just please treat people the way you want to be treated, because you never know what somebody at home is going through. And always try to be kind. And even if it's something as a simple smile, do a small gesture every day for somebody, because it could brighten somebody's day. And just don't give up hope. EquuSearch, first to deploy. Gene, none of us is going to give up on Summer. We're going to continue to try to do whatever we can for Summer Wells.
Amen to that, sister. I appreciate you. Listen, we're gonna let you go so we can just continue on with the show, but will you come back and join us again soon for updates? Because I'd like to have you come on without the echo in. But
absolutely, I will. Yes, sir, I will.
Okay. We'll see you again soon. Bye, Twila. Awesome. She's top notch. That woman is tough as nails. I tell you, Ed, if we were back on patrol, I would have her, out with me any day of the week. She's as tough as nails. So
she's a dynamo too.
Oh yeah, she's a ball of fire.
Love it.
I wanted to show one more clip. Let me just make sure that this is going to be. You know what? Forget the clips. We're not going to play the clips. I had a little piece of Dr. Phil. I'm not going to play that, but I had a second thing that I wanted to show. A second thing I wanted to show was earlier on. But listen, we're talking about drones. Chris, talk to the audience about First to Deploy. What's the mission and statement? How did you get started with it? Let the audience know what you're doing, and I want everyone to please get around and support his 501, the nonprofit that he's got going on. Give the audience a little bit of what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started doing some research on public service and what I wanted to do when I first got my Part 107. I joined EquuSearch, started assisting with the Summer Wells case and the drone side of things. That's when I got the opportunity to work with Gene on the Summer Wells case as well. Gene really did inspire me, and he talked to me about getting more involved in the capabilities of drones and learning what the capabilities are. And since then, I did start the nonprofit First to Deploy. I want to be able to bring what Gene brings to Texas. I want to bring that to East Tennessee. I think that having a rapid deploy team of drones to get out there quickly, it will be crucial because it's proven that the first 24 hours in a missing person case is very important, and we see that with Summer, how we're still looking for her. I was out today searching for a child, and he's been gone for several weeks. And I would really I think the mission is to try to stop this from happening as much. If we can get out there and save one life, it makes all the difference.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you anymore. I mean, I talked to Gene about this. We talked to, all of us got together on the phone. We spoke many times about the importance of this. And as Tim Miller, the founder of EquuSearch, Texas EquuSearch, said in the chat with us, he said, somebody in this chat, and I think there was like 4,000 or 5,000 people in the chat when Tim Miller was on with us. He said, sadly, someone in this chat is going to need us. Somebody in this very chat talking right now is going to need EquuSeach to search for one of their loved ones at some time or not, or other. And when he said that, it was pretty profound. You remember that, Gene? When he said that, I was just like, "Whoa!" That blew me away. You know, you don't wish this on your worst enemy, but sometimes, unfortunately, we don't have the playbook. The man upstairs has that playbook, and you know, people like yourselves that are out there doing God's work by searching for the missing, searching for folks who get lost. It's a dying breed, and Tim Miller said we're having a hard time grabbing people young like Chris to want to take on this work. So, Gene, you're shaking your head. I mean, how difficult is that to retain and get recruit people that want to do this?
Look, it's kind of getting more and more common that volunteerism is on its decline. You know, I was a member of a volunteer fire department. We can't get people into the fire department. And when Chris showed up and said, you know, hey, look, I want to do this, the first thing I told him was be careful for what you wish. Because, and I think he's discovered that that's true, because as he has moved into this, that, you know, the demand for it is going to be great.
Right.
And I told him I'm not getting any younger. And with Texas EquuSeach, you know, I've been to 32 states and 6 countries. So it doesn't, you know, just because you're in East Tennessee or you're in Texas doesn't mean that's where you're going to be doing your flying, because I've flown in every conceivable condition you can think of.
Right.
And I've tried to warn Chris that is his future. And because of that, I've decided that I'm going to take him under his wing. He's proven to me that, you know, he's committed to getting it done.
Right.
And I'm going to try to give him as much information as I can, because quite frankly, he's my legacy.
Yeah. And First to Deploy is your book that you wrote,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So I'm going to link that book down below. You can get it on Amazon. Gene, right? Gene, on Amazon?
You can get it. All you got to do is type that in, and you'll find several places that you can download it.
I'll link it. I'll link it in the description to make it easy for the lazy folks. Listen, we have a special guest before we go any further. Joe Murray, it's his birthday. He turned 29 years old. Criminal defense attorney Joe Murray. His camera is not engaged. I don't know what he's got going on over there, but I know that he's going to quickly get that going. He's probably got his sidekick working with him. But Ange is probably like, Joe, I don't know what to tell you. We got no camera. He just left. So he's probably trying to fix the camera. I want him to come on so everyone can wish him a happy birthday. He's contributed so much to Crime Time with DutyRon, Police Off the Cuff. You know, he's chimed in on almost every one of our cases. So Joe Murray is here. I'm going to add him without the camera just because I want to hear his voice. Happy birthday, Joe Murray. How are you, brother?
How you doing? Something going on with this camera here. We got to figure this out.
Yeah, we got a black
about
screen.
To start my first live.
I know. Okay. So listen, Joe Murray, we have a dark screen, but we want to wish you a happy birthday, brother. 29 years old. Amazing, Joe.
I love it. You know, this was the greatest birthday. Angela took me out to our favorite Italian restaurant, and I'm sure you're aware of it, D'Angelo's on Willis Avenue. We had a wonderful dinner.
Beautiful.
And what better birthday present than for a lawyer to have his own channel here to
so
Gav.
Right. Let's go over that. 10 p.m. in another 15 minutes or so. He's going to be live. Hopefully his camera is going to be working. Poor Ange is scurrying around in the background. She's trying to get it all together. But he's going to
follow Joshua.
Right. So he's going to go live at 10 o'clock. I'm going to encourage everybody that's here to go on over and flood and do a DutyRon raid on, what's the name of the channel? Let everybody know.
Allegedly Guilty. And I got to tell you, you know what I feel like? I feel like Sam Rothstein in the movie Casino. I finally have a platform to fight back.
This is going to be an epic broadcast that's coming up in 15 short minutes or less, 10 minutes. I know you guys got to go and work on the camera. I can hear the urgency, so I'm gonna let you run, brother. I promise you, I will scoot out of here at like 10:05 and have everybody come on over to you, and then I'll be over there too. But we got a couple more things to go over. I don't want to lead you into Summer Wells talking about Candace and Don. You've already told me if you were their defense attorney or if you were representing them, you would tell them, shut it. Zip it.
Absolutely. I feel like calling them now to just tell them, please, enough
They
is
won't.
enough.
They won't listen. They won't listen. Trust me, especially Don. He's got diarrhea of the mouth. He can't help himself. So I'm hoping one day he gives us some information that leads to what happened to his daughter. That's what I'm hoping for. But we'll see. Listen, I'll let you run because I know you got to get ready for your show. You got no camera. You got good audio, but you got no video. So
all right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Andrew's working on it. But I wanted to say thank you to everyone. I got so much support and love from everyone. Happy birthday wishes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is such a wonderful thing that we're doing here, and I'm so excited. Hopefully, you'll be able to see me with this camera.
We're all going to be over at allegedly guilt. What is it? Allegedly guilty.
Allegedly guilty.
Allegedly
Everyone is
guilty.
convicting them. They're allegedly guilty.
So we're gonna have the mods put the link to the channel. I'm hoping Dawn Marie can pick that out, or Joey, and just put that in the chat. And then we're gonna get back to our conversation here with our professionals. Joe Murray, work on the camera. I'll see you over there when you're live.
Thanks, brother.
Happy birthday
to you guys. Gene,
Good luck, Joe. Happy birthday.
I got a call from Dave, a text from Dave today wishing me happy birthday. You guys are wonderful. Chris, Ed. All right, take care, everyone. I got to run.
Sanyet Falok.
He's like shitting himself because he's got the camera. My first live stream, I got no freaking live feed. So back onto Summer Wells. Listen, guys, for those of you who are out there supporting and that are invested in this case, get around people like First to Deploy Chris and Gene. These are the guys that are out there, and they are not talking about what they're doing. They're just going and doing it. Dave Rader, like I asked Dave, hey, do you want to come on? He's like, I'm just going to let you guys talk, and he'll come back another time. But you know what? They don't want to have notoriety for what they do because they do it because it comes from here. It comes from within. Their hearts are in it. They want to do. They're invested in what they do, and they're professionals. So these are the great people who you want to get around and listen to. And I can't thank you guys both enough for the valid information that you give my audience and the people who are listening. And not everybody wants to hear it, but for those who do want to hear it, it's great to be able to come here to Crime Time with DutyRon and get good, valid information, not hogwash, not a bunch of songs and dances. It's it is what it is. We've talked about drones, we talked about canines, we talked about ground searches with Twila. We've covered every aspect of what it takes to conduct a search for the missing. And again, I'm going to link. I've already have in the description Chris's First to Deploy website. I've got Gene's website. I encourage you guys to go over. Even if you donate $1, it's just money well spent, because this money that you are contributing to is going to a good thing. It's better than going out and buying a lottery ticket, because you're supporting good people who search for the missing. And I can't overemphasize the importance of that. Ed, you got any words on that?
No, I just love the relationship between Gene and Chris. It's like Gene, the mentor, and Chris, the student. And I see Gene going to be passing the baton on to the younger generation, and that's always a good thing. And we need more of that. We need more of Gene and Chris out there. Learn from the masters and take the reins and run with it from there. And things evolve, things change. The drones are getting better and better, more equipment available, ground penetrating, side scanning radar drones, LiDAR drones, all kinds of drones that we use for topography mapping and so forth that we could use and transition them from their surveying mode into searching for the missing and so forth. This is great stuff. And I salute both of you gentlemen.
What do you got on the table behind you there? What kind of toy is that? And are you into this whole drone thing?
I do use drones. I definitely use drones, and I know Gene and Chris know what it is. Okay, it's a DJI Phantom, and I use drones for crime scene work, for conventional crime scene work. I use drones for my wife's real estate work, and I use drones on a professional level for the Department of Homeland Security and training that I do for emergency responders throughout the nation. We are incorporating our drones into the CBRNE, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive environments, where instead of sending a human into that hazardous environment, now we're using the drones to conduct a reconnaissance and screen for chemical weapons, biological materials, radiological, and nuclear materials.
That's fascinating. You know, people don't realize how much drones are being utilized, not just for searching for the missing. You just talked about biological, radioactive, hazard materials. Drones are the wave of the future, and they've been around for a long time, but they just keep getting better and better. You know, and Gene just sits there with that smirk on his face because he loves this, man. He loves this.
Well, you know, Ron, you got to understand, since 2005, we have been going through this whole education process, you know, because in 2005, the only time you saw a drone is it was a Predator B launching a Hellfire missile.
Right.
And now we're seeing examples like Ed's got on the background there of his Phantom, and Chris has got his Matrice back there in the background. And people are finally getting it that this is a tool that can save lives. And, you know, it just warms the heart of my bottom, see, if you will. So, you know, that people are finally getting the idea that we're not going to invade your privacy. We're really not that interested in what you're doing, as long as you're, you know.
Yeah, you know, it was funny. It was funny when I talked to the Hawkins County sheriff. I talked to the second in charge there. I didn't get Ronnie Lawson on the phone, but I got his guy right below him. And he, you know what he said to me? This is funny because I never let this out on a video, but this is not going to jeopardize an investigation or anything. But you know what he said when I was begging and pleading with him for the drone guy, the approval for you guys to go, and we got the approval. Many phone calls back and forth. You know what he said to me? He goes, "Hey, as long as they're not sending those drones up and looking at anybody in bikinis in their backyard." And then I thought to myself, that sounds like a good idea. But it was just funny that he said that to me. Like, as long as they're not invading people's privacies and going into areas where they really don't need to be looking. And I said, well, you know, in my mind, you got to look everywhere. But I guess he was saying, don't hover over somebody's pool in their backyard, that kind of thing.
Yeah, with their daughters out around the pool with their bikinis on, and that can get you in trouble.
And that's what the earlier parts of the drones, like Christmas time, everybody would get a drone, and then all of a sudden you'd hear zzz in the backyard, and you'd be like, "Oh, who's this?" But it's come a long way, and you know what? Listen, if they allow you guys to go back there, I know you will go back with permission of law enforcement, and you know, we're just looking to bring Summer home and get some answers, and we're not getting any answers from the parents. Don and Candace, when they went on to Dr. Phil, 2 episodes, I heard the same song and dance. There was nothing more, nothing less than what was said all in the past. And I just kind of rolled my eyes when I heard it. It was just more of him saying, you know, pray to God and this, that, and the other, and everybody's out to get me, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. That's all I heard. Blah, 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 blah. So we're going to wrap it up because I don't want to step on Joe Murray. Chris, again, everybody go over and check out First to Deploy's website. It's linked in my description. Gene's always linked in my description. I encourage you to go to DutyRon.com, where you could find everything, all things DutyRon, and all the cases that me and Ed are going to be covering. Me and Ed are going to be working tirelessly behind the scenes to bring you more educational live streams. This has really turned into educational from the forensic side because of Ed's vast Rolodex of professionals that he has from the medical examiner's office. I gotta tell you, I feel like I'm on an episode of Bones. We're hanging out with this guy, but Ed's turning us on to all of the things. And let me know by a show of hands if you guys enjoy the shows that we have put on in the past, the entomologist, the bug doctor, the anthropologist, Dr. Murray Marks. He was fantastic. I watched that replay today, and I got to tell you, Ed, I don't watch many of my replays, but I sat there on my big screen TV with my wife, and we watched the whole thing. And my wife critiqued me. She said, "Oh, why don't you shut up just a little bit more? You talk a little."
It's your show.
I'm married 30 years. I'm with her for 40 years. She can tell me to shut up. But I was like, honey, I'm trying to get this guy to say some cool stuff. I want to ask the questions that my audience wants to know. Like, I know the things that you guys want to ask these professionals, but sometimes when we're in that professional environment, it's hard to say certain things. So I have to think of a way to deliver it to them. But listen, this show has morphed into education, and I think that it's really the direction that I always wanted to take it, and I always tried to take it that way. And I hope you guys enjoy it, because professionals like Gene and Chris and Dave Rader, Twila, grabbing all of these people and having them come on, it's just like a wealth. It's like an encyclopedia Britannica when it comes to investigations. Yeah, so I can't, I really couldn't have put it any better than that. But I encourage everyone to go over to Joe Murray's channel. Does the mods have it in here? Go over there and flood him when he goes live with DutyRon raid, or whatever you want to put. Came in from DutyRon, allegedly guilty. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be there. I hope he had a couple of. I hope he has had a couple of adult beverages, because it's his birthday, so it should be interesting. Gene, any final words for the youngins out there?
Well, Chris and I talk pretty frequently, so no, there's not going to be any final words from me for a while, I'm afraid.
I'm saying for the audience.
Oh, okay. Well, for the audience, again, as much as you have told them, Ron, it's true. Every dollar that we get, everything that we receive from your listeners goes directly to the effort of finding lost individuals and the equipment that's required for it. I know Chris is not taking any pay, and I'm not going to take any pay either. So you can rest assured that 100% of it goes to that cause.
That's fantastic. Chris, any final words for the audience?
Yeah, Ron, I just want to clarify, the mission for me is really just to spread hope and compassion, a message of hope and compassion. And, I can go out and change my community, but together I think we can all make a difference in the world. So I would encourage anyone that wants to get involved and volunteer for this to do so.
Absolutely. I agree. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up, because I want Joe Murray to have a successful first live stream. We're going to do this again. We're going to talk about summer wells, and we're going to get into the importance of drone searches. I think that is going to, going into the winter, is going to be instrumental in mapping out the areas, and kind of, as Gene and Dave Rader says, we know where she's not at this point. So we want to go to the areas where we do not have data or search footage. So the drones, I think, can do that in the wintertime. And I think that there's a lot of work to still be done, not just on the Summer Wells case, but on our boys in California, Orrin and Orson West. And we have Maya Milietes. She's still out there. We got to find her. There's so much work to be done. Limited resources. So on behalf of Crime Time with DutyRon, I want to wish everybody a good Saturday evening or Sunday, depending on where you are. God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. And God bless each and every one of you in the chat, and all victims of crime and their families. We wish them all positive vibes and prayers. Peace from New York. And these guys, the Texas, Tennessee, we got New York, Texas, Tennessee, and Jersey in the house. We're all over the place.
That's right.
Guys, good night from New York. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.